सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुब्रह्मा गुरुविष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैर्वेदैः साङ्गोपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगः ध्यानावस्थितगतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः।
There is little difference. It is called as Pathabheda. Depending upon the regional languages, the pronunciation of the Sanskrit will be little different. So I'll chant once more. You just follow that and make the corrections. Okay? You have the book right now. Okay? Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः. So that's small corrections you will have to make for yourself. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. That's good. Chapter 6, Shloka number 28 we had to discuss. अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः ध्यानयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी विगतकल्मषः सुखेन ब्रह्मसंस्पर्शम् अत्यन्तं सुखमश्नुते।
The yogi, engaging the mind, thus, in the practice of yoga, freed from sins, easily enjoys the infinite bliss of Brahman contact.
Yes. Now, we in this chapter, after giving the knowledge of Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Bhagavan is giving further more tips to attain that divinity. So what he has to do? He has to keep the mind yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi vigatakalmashaha. Continuously, the mind has to be controlled. He has to put it in the practice of yoga. It is not like one day my mind is under control and now if I leave it again, it won't remain there. Because the mind is so agitated, it always wants to go out and go out. So to control it time and again, it has to be brought back to the swasthiti. Swasthiti means the tranquility. And he should be free from sins. See, how can we be free from sins? Sometimes we really do sins and we always feel guilty about that. I have done some sin, it's not fine. But sometimes we would not have done any sin, but still our mind will be thinking, was it right what I did? Was it not right? Did I do it correctly? Did I not do it correctly? We call that as papa pragna. That mind will be thinking in that way. So here the yogi, the sadhaka should be free from both. If he has really done the sins, he should correct himself, and for the past he should just ask the pardon from, excuse from the God, or ask excuse from for whom he would have committed the sin. That is prayaschitta. If he has done prayaschitta, that is fine. He should not actually brood upon that. That is how we can be free from sins. We have already done some sins. In future, we will not be doing those things. That is how we can be free from sins. One who is free from those sins and one who is controlling the mind in such a way, what happens to him? Sukhena brahma samsparsham atyantam sukham ashnate. So he will be contacting or will be coming in contact with that Nitya Suddha Ananda Swarupa. He will be experiencing that divinity and he will be getting this Atyantam Sukhamashnate, that is the endless happiness. Ananta Paramananda it is called. It is called as Paramananda and it is Ananta. That means infinite, eternal happiness. Only that person will be able to attain that. Continuing. Sarvabhutastamatmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha.
With the mind harmonized by yoga, he sees the self abiding in all beings and all beings in the self. He sees the same everywhere.
Yes. Now he is abiding in the self. He is so happy that he is not dependent upon the objects outside for the happiness or the relations outside for the happiness. And such a person is called as yogi or gnani. How will he be acting or responding to the world outside? He will be seeing the same Atman in everybody and he will see everyone in that Atma only. He will see everybody as Atman and he will, in the Atman he will see everybody. That means in himself he will see everyone, and when he looks outside, everywhere he will see the Atman. That is God alone he will see everywhere, within him and outside also. And he will have this samadrishti. It is called as, see, Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshinaha. That means he will be seeing everything in the equality. It doesn't mean that everything becomes equal to him outside, but his drishti, that means the way he sees, how he looks upon others, it will be equal. Like he will not differentiate between others. Like, he is very good, he is not good, he is bad, his talks are not good. That means he doesn't become judgmental. When we become judgmental, we see the difference. If you don't become judgmental, that is how they are, that's all. So we will be trying to see the divinity in them, not the actions they do because of the existence of the divinity in them. So that is how a yogi will be having this drishti, that is his views will change, his vision will change, not the views, his vision will change. How will he be looking at everybody? Samatva, in equality. Continuing. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati.
He who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, he never gets separated from me, nor do I get separated from him?
See how beautifully God, Bhagavan says, when everywhere, every moment, in everyone, this yogi is seeing me only. That is God. And in me, he is seeing everyone. That means he is not separating himself from God at any point of time. Whatever he does, whether he sees within or without, whether he sees other people outside or he is looking at himself, he is seeing only God. At all times, at all places, wherever he is seeing only God. So, for such a person will never be away from God, isn't it? That's what God is telling. Bhagavan is telling, such a person will never be separated from me. And I will not get separated from him. See, even if God wants to get separated, he won't leave. Because he is always abiding in the self. Well, in the Adhyatma, when we study the spirituality, here the principle of existence is called as God. That means the Atman is the God here. Parabrahma, Paramatma we call, all-pervading God. That is in the Nirakara Rupa. That means there is no names or forms. Initially we start worshipping God in the names and forms because we are not able to see God everywhere. From our childhood we are taught what? Like God is everywhere, God is everywhere, God is everywhere. But we are not able to experience God everywhere and we are not able to pray God everywhere. That's why initially we take a idol and we start worshipping. That is Sakara Rupa. And that should continue till we are, mature to see God everywhere. That is what has to happen. So here Bhagavan says, when this person, yogi, can see God everywhere and he can see within and without, everywhere God only, I will not be separated from him, nor he will be separated from him. That means he is abiding in the self and he is one with the God always, at all times. Tasmaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. So I will never get away from him. I will not be away from him at all. Continuing. Sarvabhutastitam yo mam bhajatyekattvamastitah sarvatha vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate.
He who, being established in unity, worships me, dwelling in all beings, that yogi abides in me, whatever be his mode of living.
Yes. Sarvabhuta sthitam yomam bhajatyekatvam astitah. With the pure mind, who will be seeing me in everybody, whether it is in the animals or the human beings, he is able to see me and experience me and worship me. That person, wherever he is, wherever, let him be anywhere, let him be alone or let him be among the people, what will happen to him? I will be there in him. So God abides in such a person and he will be taking care of everything. That is what is meant to say here. Here, one thing we have to see is one with the pure mind. See, this pure mind is very, very, very important. How to make this mind pure? The whole of Bhagavad Gita is told about mind management. And the very purpose of studying all the scriptures is dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. We want to remove the dukkha and get this sukha. So dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti, If we remove the dukkha, we don't get the sukha. Right? That means we can say absence of dukkha. Absence of pain is not happiness. Absence of pain is absence of pain, that's all. And to get happiness, we have to study the scriptures, know what is happiness, and maintain that state of mind. That will be happiness. See, it is like in my previous class, I was just telling an example. Suppose I want to taste badam halwa in my plate. What should I do? I should clean my plate first. Or else the previous day, whatever I would have eaten, sambar, rice and everything, it will be smelling in the plate. So first I have to clean the plate. So once I clean the plate, I don't experience badam halwa immediately. I have to take that badam halwa in the plate and eat. So if we take this plate as my mind and the yesterday's leftover food is there in that and I clean it, that is dukkha nivritti. I have removed the dukkha. That means now happiness is not there, it is khali plate only. So if I can get badam halwa there, that is sukha prapti. So for everything this is very important. If I don't get illness, if I am not ill, it doesn't mean I am healthy. To maintain that health, I have to do certain exercise, take proper food, only then I will be healthy. If something has not attacked me, it is not that, I am fine, I am healthy. No. I have not got the disease, that's all. For everything, we should look into this. And even, what we call as, see, so many bad things are happening in the world. There are so many, we see the corruption, so many things are happening. I am not doing any corrupt thing. That means I cannot claim myself that I am good. Right? I am not doing bad things. That doesn't mean I am good. To be good, I should do something good. Only then I can be called good. If they were not doing bad things, they would not be called bad people, right? So, in the same way, if I am not doing anything good to the country or my neighborhood or something, I cannot be a good person. So we should always, this is being actively good. Bhagavan says being actively good or actively happy. That sukha prapti happens that way. For everything you take, I am a Hindu, but I am not a practicing Hindu. Okay, I am not disturbing anybody else. That means I am not a practicing Hindu also. I am not active in this one also. So it is necessary that we should be actively good. Only then all those things will be experienced. So here, dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti means we should clearly understand that I don't have any sorrow doesn't mean that I am happy. The mind is tranquil and peaceful, that's all. That dukkha is not there. Absence of dukkha is, absence of pain is not happiness. That happiness has to be got there. Here Bhagavan says, what is that? Shuddha, that's why this came was the pure mind. The pure mind means absence of bad things is not pure. It should be pure. That means it should be positive, it should be enthusiastic, it should be ready to help anybody. Those virtues if I have, that will be a pure mind. You should never think, many of us think, okay, I don't have any bad feelings about anything, I'm not doing bad to anybody. That means I'm good. No. Even if we take that as goodness, it is passive goodness, not active goodness. Okay, you are not harmless to the country, that's all. There we stay. So, but Bhagavan is not talking of that passive thing here. What he is telling? Sarva bhuta sthitam yomam bhajatyekattvamastitaha. He is not only seeing God everywhere, in everything, whether it is an animal or a human being, he is worshipping them. That means he has got lot of respect towards them. Such a person, wherever he is, he will be abiding in me only. This we have to remember, being actively good and passively good. That is something we all have to get into and start working upon. Like, continuing. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matah.
He who, through the likeness of the self, O Arjuna, sees equality everywhere, be it pleasure or pain, he is regarded as the highest yogi.
Who is the highest yogi now? This yogi is seeing everyone equally. Samadrishti. He has a very good vision where he can see everyone equally. Whether it is the world or the living beings, everyone he is seeing equally. And he is not dependent on the worldly objects or the worldly relations for his happiness. So naturally he is happy always because he's not depending on anything, and his happiness is born within. Whether he experiences pleasure or pain outside, he is able to take that equally. How is it? See, the world is same for a yogi and a person, gnani and a agnani. All the things that affects an agnani will definitely affect a gnani also, because the world is same. If somebody throws a stone to a gnani or agnani, the hurt is the same. Or somebody speaks odd to somebody, like whether he is a gnani or agnani, the person who speaks will not know whether it is a gnani or an agnani. But how does a gnani receive that and how does an agnani receive that? That makes the difference. So a person who is a gnani and is abiding in the self, he is able to take this pleasure and pain equally. Then how will he be in the world? He also will be affected by the pain and pleasure, but the time gap to get back to the tranquility is very small. The wave or if the mind is always tranquil, it is in peace, it is at peace, the disturbance is not so much. It just goes and comes back. Whether it is sorrow or happiness, the graph is not too high in a yogi. He very fast can come back to the tranquility. All of us have experienced, even when we are too happy, we are not able to sleep. Because the mind should be at peace to go to sleep. Not only getting disturbed by the pain, the pleasure also makes the mind disturbed. Positive disturbance, that is. Though we enjoy that, it disturbs the sleep. But for this yogi, sukha and dukkha, pleasure and pain, he takes it in a balanced way. Such a yogi is at highest, such a yogi is the highest yogi. One who can take pain and pleasure equally and see everyone in an equal manner. Continuing, now Arjuna has a question now. So, after listening to all this, Bhagavan telling again and again about the control of the mind, Arjuna has a question. So we will read both the shlokas together. His question. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana yetasyaham na pashyami chanchalatvat sthitim stiram Chanchalam hi mana Krishna Pramati balavadridham Tasyaham nigraham manye Vayoriva sudushkaram.
This yoga of equanimity taught by thee, O slayer of Madhu, I see not its enduring continuity because of the restlessness of the mind. The mind verily is, O Krishna, restless, turbulent, strong, and unyielding. I deem it quite as difficult to control as the wind.
Same question even we want to be answered, right? Yes. Bhagavan Krishna says, keep the mind in tranquility always. That always is in the quotes now. Always. That is the problem now, Arjuna is asking. You say always you should keep your mind under control. But it is very difficult. And I don't feel it is possible. That's what he is telling. Always keeping the mind in tranquility is not possible. Why? Because the mind is so agitated, for small things it will get disturbed. And the nature of the mind is that actually disturbs us, isn't it? Even if we have absorbed our mind, we can just think. For no reason it gets disturbed. And some people are so sensitive, you look at them, they get disturbed. You don't look at them, they get disturbed. So the mind is, depending upon how you have trained your mind, such will be the responses. So he is asking promptly. You say that it should always be in tranquility, which is not possible. And the nature of the mind is it will get disturbed again and again. And it is very strong. The mind is very strong. He says, I don't say it is not strong at all. It is very strong, and time and again it goes out. See, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadrudam. It is so strong. However hard I try to bring it back to tranquility, it goes out. Tasyaham nigraham anye vayoriva sudushkram. It is so difficult. It is like catching hold of this wind. You cannot hold the wind and make it stay stable, in a stable position. So it is like wind that is always rushing outside, everywhere, in every direction. The mind is like the wind which is going everywhere, and it is, if I am trying to keep my mind under tranquility, it is just like making an effort to make the wind stay stable. So we can never achieve that. That is the question which Arjuna is asking. How can I just hold the wind? How can I just hold this mind which is so strong and which is going outside? It is very difficult. And he says it is impossible to control the mind. So what Bhagavan answers, we will see. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Grihyate.
The Blessed Lord said, undoubtedly, O mighty armed one, the mind is difficult to control and is restless. But by practice, O son of Kunti, and by dispassion, it is restrained.
Yes. See, Bhagavan now accepts very nicely, so sweetly he says, yes, very true. It is very difficult to control the mind. But he says, don't say it is impossible, it is possible. And what is that we have to do? Abhyasa Yoga. Try, try, try and try. You will succeed. He says, no, I can't just give it up because he'll not say, Arjuna, oh, you can't do it? Fine, give it up. It's not in your hands. Forget it. No. He says, no. You have to do it. You can do it and you must do it. Abhyasenat asamshayam mahabaho. No doubt. Mano durnigraham chalam. It's very difficult to control the mind. But it is possible. How? Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyatam. How can you bring the mind under your control? It is through vairagya and abhyasa. So now let us see what is this abhyasa. Whenever the mind goes out, we have to bring it back. Or the mind is disturbed for some reason. Many of them say you introspect, find out the reason why it is disturbed and then bring it back. So that there is no... Why? And by practicing this good thing, we have to accept what has gone wrong, always. Most of the times we can't correct ourselves because we justify our mistakes. Right? Small things, anything we do some mistake, we say, no, I'm like that. What happens if I do like that? It's correct. No, we will never accept that at all. Your mind is, you tell somebody your mind is so disturbed. What's happening to you? No, my mind is okay. That's how it is. What is there? We never accept that. So first thing we have to do is we have to accept our mistakes, not justify. So once we accept our mistakes, we will be able to change that. Many of you must be knowing, I was working and we would be asked to come to the office on time. Of course, we all have experienced that. Many of us are working. So we were asked to go to the office before 10:30, and there were people who would always come very late. When there would be a discussion and say, every day you come late, you should try to come on time. If somebody says that, the justification would be, no, that is the time I can come, that's all. I can come at only that time because all the reasons are there. I get the bus at this time, I can come out of the house at this time. See how we justify that. But office demands us to come at 10:30, but I'm coming at 11:30 and I'm justifying. No, that is not acceptable, isn't it? I should accept my mistakes. So that is how I'm just telling this example of how we justify. So if I feel that, yes, I try to come, but every time something happens and I'm not able to come, I will try to come. First I accept the mistake, then next day I can try to come earlier. It doesn't happen next day, but I can try. That is the abhyasa. If I keep on trying for a few days, naturally I can come. So we should, in all the other things also, we try to justify. No, what I said is correct. Why do you think it is wrong? No, it is correct according to me. Hare, if there is something wrong, why should I not accept first? So we should accept our mistakes first, not justify. Then we will be able to correct, and that is called as Abhyasa Yoga. So Bhagavan says, Abhyasa Yoga. How can we do this practice of bringing back the mind? First accept that your mind is going outside. It is getting disturbed. Yes, I don't know why my mind is getting disturbed time and again. Every time I tell that mind not to get disturbed, but still it gets disturbed. Why? How can I do that? Can take a suggestion from a friend, read the scriptures. First accept that mind is getting disturbed. No, my mind never gets disturbed. If we say it is the nature of the mind itself is to get disturbed, it is Shanthala, it is running out. But still if we keep justifying, we will not be able to correct that. Here, that's what Bhagavan is telling. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha guhyatam. Vairagya is giving up all the uh, or giving less choice for the mind. Vairagya, we will take it in that way. Giving less choice for the mind, so that mind will not go hayway. It will be just going around there only, where it is very easy for us to bring it back to our stability or the tranquility. Vairagya is not giving up everything. We'll say giving the mind less choices. So this is a very important shloka, and if somebody is asked to say a few shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, this also is one of them. Asamshayam Mahabaho, no doubt the mind, it is difficult to control the mind, but it is possible. How is it possible? Abhyasa Yoga. For everything it is Abhyasa Yoga. We have to practice. Practice makes man perfect. There's a saying like that. So we have to practice that. Continuing. Asamyatatmana yogaha dushprapa iti me matihi vashyatmana tu yatata shakyo vaptumupayataha.
Yoga, I think, is hard to be attained by one of uncontrolled self, but the self-controlled striving can obtain it by proper means.
Yes. Very important thing in this yoga sadhana is manonigraha. One has to control the mind. Control the mind in the sense the buddhi should take the lead and the mind should listen to buddhi. If he is not able to control his mind at all, then for him this yoga is not possible. And he should be having all the sense organs in his control. Vashyatatma tu yatata shakyo vaptuma vapayataha. Shakyo vaptumupayataha. One who has controlled his senses, sense organs, and one who has controlled his mind, only he will be able to attain this yoga siddhi. This is possible only to him. How is it possible? See, it is so simple, this how we develop Shraddha towards something. Suppose many of them joined this class in the beginning. You must have seen. We were around 25 or 30 of us. Later on, for some reason, they could not join. Maybe there were genuine reasons, I don't say. They could not join us. But there are people who said it's okay. What if I join? I can see on the YouTube link or something like that. For no reason, they must have. See, there the mind works. If I am a real sadhak, and I want to see that my mind listens to something, whether I like or not, initially, if I have accepted and want to do something, I should start doing it. Not only this class, anything. After some time, even if it is good, see, it is told that whatever I like may not be good for me. But whatever is good, I should learn to like that. Whatever I like may not be good. So whatever is good for me, I should try to like that. This example of one class I am giving, that's all. There will be so many things like that. If this is good for me, I should make it a point to attend that class because it is required for me. The mind says, no, you do something, we will watch TV, or it is lethargic. No, don't want to go and attend. Why should I? Like that. For a yogi, it is not like that. His mind listens to him. There is no choice at all. His mind will never say, no, let me not do this. It is already decided and pre-decided and fixed. For certain things like that, yes, I am going there, finished. So a yogi who has his mind in such a control, that means it is listening to the buddhi and he has controlled all the sense organs. only for such a person, this Dhyana Yoga, what we are studying, will be attained. Dhyana Yoga he can attain. The ultimate truth, the ultimate experience of the divinity can be achieved. So this Mano Nigraha is very important in this sadhana. If the mind says, I am not interested, no, we can't let it go. We have to force it initially, then a taste will be definitely developed. That's what Bhagavan is telling. Continuing, again Arjuna has a question. So we'll read all those three stanzas, what is the question, and then see the answer in the next class. Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayopetaha yogachalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati.
Shall I read now?
Yes, sir.
Arjuna said, when a man, though possessed of faith, is unable to control himself and its mind wanders away from yoga, to what end does he, having failed to attain perfection in yoga, go, O Krishna?
Same question as we have. Ayati shraddhayopetaha yogachalita manasaha. Okay, with all that shraddha, just as I told, attending this class, with all the shraddha, one is trying to attend the class, but something or the other is happening. Honestly, he is trying, but it is not possible. Somebody comes to the house, or a phone rings, or when everything is fine, the internet does not work, or when everything is there, somebody comes to the house, so there is some guest, something happens. So the efforts are being put, but it is not successful. And halfway, sometimes they'll be able to attend the class, sometimes. So when such thing happens, what will happen? Or sometimes for some time they have attended the class, and after that they cannot attend the class. Like that, some have tried to control their mind and also the sense organs. They have tried to a certain extent, but later on they have given up. What will happen to them? Aprapta yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. What will happen to them? They went halfway and then they left it. What happens to them? Second question. Kachinno bhaya vibrashtaha chinnabhramiva nashyati apratishto mahabaho vimudho brahmanapati.
Fallen from both, does he not, O mighty aunt, perish like a rent cloud, supportless and deluded in the path of Brahman?
See how beautifully. A sadhaka is doing sadhana, but then get disturbed. So, will he not be like a broken cloud? The cloud is together. A broken cloud means he is in a group where people are not interested in this spirituality or the control of the mind or anything. But one person from that group comes out and then he starts doing this sadhana. But he is not able to do, because he is always in that company, that big group of 15-20 people. One person drives out and tries to do all this, and he is not successful. So he is neither in that group or he is successfully joining some Gnani group also. So will he not be like a broken cloud? That is the meaning. That means he is not with them also and he is not successful here also. Don't you think he will be spoiled? That is the question. And one more question. एतन्मे संशयं कृष्ण चेतुमर्हस्य शेषतः त्वदन्यः संशयस्यास्य चेत्ता न ह्युपपद्यते.
This doubt of mine, O Krishna, please dispel completely, because it is not possible for anyone but you to dispel this doubt.
See, a person starts sadhana and he is not completing his sadhana. On the way he gets disturbed and he just goes heavy. What will happen to such a person? They'll say, no, neither ghat ka na ghar ka. That means he is not even in this disturbed mind group, or he is not in this group where the jnanis are there. What will happen to such a person? Is Arjuna's question, and Bhagavan will answer that. We will see that in the next class. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet, asato ma sadgamaya, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतंगमय. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम.